right? Jai. So Jai Saprika Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundarju Ki Jai. The deities of Navadip, the deities of Srila Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. And Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. And Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rapa Kshira Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. So this is our Vandanam for this week, because we have a special guest here with us. And he's not a guest. Oh, I see. The camera is this side, a different side. He's not a guest. Look, he's a brother. Look, looking the same. You can tell we're brothers. He's a brother, and he's come because he wants to be with you. So when you have somebody who wants to be with you, I also want to be with you, but you get me all the time. But you don't get Keshavananda Prabhu all the time. So now you can all be ready to think how you are going to draw nectar from the Vaishnavas. In the meantime, we can say we're in London, and we're not in London actually, we're in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, London, which is quite different than London outside the door. And it is not only different from London outside, but it's very similar to Navadip inside. Means Navadip temple, the Chaitanya Saraswat Math of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev. And so we're happy to be here, active ashram, and happy, by the way, to be in Italy, active ashram. We're happy to be wherever there is active seva taking place, and following the principles that are set out in the Bible and everything. They've given us our practical life, and Srila Prabhupada, he sent his devotees to Guru Maharaj in order to learn about devotion and the practical life in an ashram. So really we are following Srila Prabhupada from our generation, even though when we came to Guru Maharaj, so many of Srila Prabhupada's followers said we are traitors. But we came to Guru Maharaj, having heard what Srila Prabhupada said. I mean, some things seem so straightforward. We've heard from what Srila Prabhupada said, then we surely will do that. We'll come, if we have questions, come to Srila Guru Maharaj. Take shelter of him. What benefit we can get from him, Srila Prabhupada stressing that. And so we came to Srila Guru Maharaj, and similarly coming to Srila Gurudev, we've come to Srila Gurudev. How publicly, how openly, how heartfully expressed by Guru Maharaj. The current of Mahaprabhu, the current of Rupa Goswami. So here we all are, we're the family together, and gathering together on a sunny, cold morning in London. Okay, not London, yes, right. In Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And I know March the 26th, it's not cold in Navadip now, because we know from experience that Krishna has a sense of humor, and Krishna starts the first hot days of the year with the first day of Navadip Dham Parikrama. So by now it'll be fairly steady, though sometimes some cooler days come along the middle. So just want to take a quick look. Mayeshvari DD is driving, going somewhere, and you're on the screen. And please watch the road. 2 hands on the wheel and watch the road. Yes, good for you. And we're joining together, and Mayeshvari is very lucky. She's got a hot drink there. Fortunate. All right. So, dear devotees, here's Keshavananda Prabhu, and I'll be very happy to pass the microphone over to him. Keshavananda Prabhu with us also. Keshavananda Prabhu, our Dandavat, Kumkum, Sri DD in Italy. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, very happily, just nearby from Italy, a little further from here in Croatia. And Jason and Bimal Krishna Prabhu and Ishtadevika, all from USA. And Sevarup, yes, I think we're all here. If I missed anybody, please excuse me. But we're here on Zoom and on Facebook. So I'll look on Facebook too. Now you've all had some few minutes to think, how will you draw nectar out of a devotee? Well, now you have the chance, because here is a devotee. Now we are asking you to do your service, to draw nectar from Keshavananda Prabhu. He looks shorter than me.
Yes.
Something wrong here.
Well,
he's a tall fellow. Let's
change the channel. It's comfy. We're both comfortable. Hare Krishna, nice to see everyone always. And well, I haven't prepared anything or got anything really. I just came to join the Zoom, so questions or topics are always very welcome. We're very fortunate to be here in London, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math, where, as Maharaj says, it's an active, busy place of seva, and the devotees very enthusiastically organizing and thinking of ways of spreading the good words, the good news of coming from our Guru Varga, the hopeful life that is possible through their service. So I'm feeling very inspired and happy to be with the devotees always, wherever we are, when we're in that environment. We're very, very happy. Every day is a festival, no doubt, for those who participate in Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math. We've heard this expression many times, and how true it is. Every day begins with singing and hearing wonderful things to uplift us and to enthuse us and to surcharge us with some serving mood and serving energy. So that's what's happening here, and I know in other temples and other homes with the devotees around the world.
Actually, it's their service to draw nectar from you.
Yeah,
so now you've got to pass over the service.
Please, you've got to help me out. Hare Krishna.
We're using
I'm looking at Seva Priyadini. She's always very good.
Sevarupa.
Yes.
We're using the phone. I don't know whether you can tell on the other side, but we're using the phone, so we're seeing your thumbnails or fingernails, whatever they're called, your thumbnails.
And we have questions from Mayeshvari DD and Kumkum DD.
We do?
I have the hands raised. We have the hands raised.
Okay.
Hands raised.
So let's ask Mayeshvari DD first.
Dandavats to all. So after our last session, I was reading in Positive and Progressive Immortality, the chapter on surrender. And the very first paragraph talks about, and of course we talk about this a lot, is that, putting our complete and total surrender in Krishna, even, our day-to-day things. And, I think I have this much understanding of that. But the question that came to me was balancing living in the world and having intention and, taking care of basic necessities and having faith that Krishna really runs everything. So, because I have seen people who don't take care of themselves. Do you know what I mean? They go, oh, I don't have to do anything because Krishna is in charge and it'll just happen. But it seems that there must be some level of responsibility as well when we live in the world. I mean, even living in ashram, we have responsibilities. So my question is, how do we find that balance?
Yes, I heard. Sorry, I'm just moving around because
That's okay. Of course.
Sachi Devi.
We've been joined by Sachi Devi. Here she is live.
Dandavad, DD.
There we are. Now Chaitanya Saraswat Mat London feels complete when she is here. Jai. All right. And here is Keshavananda, and he's very well equipped because he's experienced in the world in different, we all have different chapters in our lives, and we all have responsibilities, and we have our Krishna consciousness. So Keshavananda, this is a practical question.
Well, I'm very fortunate because I've been blessed with the association of wonderful devotees for some time. Srila Gurudev and his beautiful family and my uncles, aunties, nephews, nieces. And even just yesterday, in our Bhagavad Gita class given by Shripad Devashis Prabhu, and he said, we don't have a spiritual life and a material life. We just have a life. You've just got a life. And as you contemplate, meditate, and remember Krishna and the Lord, it is a spiritual life. And when we forget that, it goes the other way. Those only two instruction ultimately is always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. An exhortation and a prohibition. Always remember Krishna. Don't forget Krishna. And also through his sweet lips, Devashis Prabhu, we were remembering a great servitor of Srila Saraswati Thakur, who was known really throughout the mission as Professor Sanyal, who was a Sanskrit scholar and a learned individual with the initiated name Narayan Das Adhikari. And we thought about him quite recently, actually, because I was just thinking he must have been such a character. Because we always want to move under the guidance and instruction of the Vaishnavas. So he would be going with all the devotees, to Mathura or to somewhere and be getting on they'd all be getting on the train, and he'd be still standing on the platform because no Vaishnava had told him to get on the train like that. So quite extreme like that. And Guru Maharaj was staying with him one time. We just heard yesterday this story. Was staying with him one time in the same room, and in the morning, Professor Sanyal Narayan Das Adhikari said, Maharaj, last night I was so sick. I felt so sick. I thought I was going to die like that. And Srila Maharaj said, well, why didn't you wake me up? And, and he said, no, I don't want to disturb the Vaishnava. And and Srila Maharaj understood that this is not that's not what we want. That doesn't sit right. And he went to Saraswati Thakur and explained the situation. And Srila Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, then spoke with Professor Sanyal and said that no, not like that. That actually your body is me, and I have service for you, and we don't. So we have to be, practical like that. So we're moving to our lives, and we have so many responsibilities, but we have to remember the Lord, and then whatever we are doing will become spiritualized, and we have the Maha Mantra that we can chant, and we can chant internally, externally to remember. We can, in my cubicle, when I lived in a cubicle, in an office, I had my picture of Gurudev just there. So even when I'm in the midst of that, he's always watching me, watching over me. And you do have to take care, we have to be, simple living and high thinking is the leitmotif, is the we hear so often that we have to keep body and soul together. We have to earn money, we have to have somewhere to live, all these basic things. But they can all be dovetailed and harmonized very nicely. Krishna consciousness is the name of the game, not temple consciousness or this consciousness, anything Krishna consciousness, and that can be anywhere. Griye tako, vane tako, sada hari bole tako. So for all of us, that is our challenge in this one life that we have. And to be sensible that we don't, those who are want to make an offering of themselves, or have made want to be an offering to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Gauranga, then we heard again, like he said, Krishna says, then they are mine. I take responsibility for that. So many things we have to do, but I'm doing even my own, physical preservation by eating and sleep, and the physical necessities, or the necessities of family life, of paying the rent and paying all these things. That also be my energy is for him, and my responsibilities I will carry out. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings about this so sweetly, that this is your house and I am yours, and everything I do, I'm remembering you and offering to you. This is who I am and what I have. It's yours, my Lord. Please help me to always remember you. Please assist me in my life. So, and pursuant to that is, well, how do we do that? And Gurudev and the Vaishnavas have given the best way is to begin the day with nourishment. You have to take breakfast in the morning, so you have energy to go to work, and you have energy to get the kids to school, and you have energy to do everything that needs to be done. So we need our spiritual food in the morning as well. Mornings this the world gets going for the most part, perhaps 6 o'clock, something like that. So if we can get up a little before that, then we can chant some Harinam, we can hear something, we can read something, we can see some video, we can get some nourishment that will give us, there used to be a thing on the radio here called Thought for the Day, and it would be some spiritual something. Anyway, Thought for the Day. It can give us our wonderful, uplifting thought for the day. Something that will enliven us, and really we can almost turn anywhere in the books of our beloved masters, on any page, or any chapter, on any paragraph, something wonderful will be there. So with that early injection, then prayerfully we will do what we have to do, and remember the Lord. And then the devotees come in all shapes and sizes and backgrounds, and we are very diverse family from all over the world. So, and we're all carrying our own journey that brought us here, and our own makeup and history. But we don't want devotees not to take care of themselves. We want devotees to be happy and healthy. So if we can be happy and healthy ourselves, and if we can encourage our family members to be that also as possible, then that's a very good situation. We're not we're not renunciates at all, really. Not, we want to serve. We want to be able to serve. And in that way, other things will gradually disappear, lose their taste, be no longer required in that service journey. And if we're in that consciousness, then anything we do can be service. Lord, I'm trying to please you. I've got to go to work now. And Guru Maharaj would say, and everything that comes, every interaction, we should remember that Krishna is arranging that. So in even the most so-called mundane things, this is where Krishna has brought me. Any who I come into contact, Krishna is all of that. So I will remember that in how I would try to remember that as I'm going about my business. So this is sadhana. Actually, this is sadhana. We have the what's given specifically, to chant on the mala and to offer bhoga and the food and those things. But it's not like you then walk out of the temple and you suddenly are in another life. It's the same life. In fact, what we do when we're in the temple, or when we're with the devotees, is training us for wherever we will go. We want to remember to represent nicely, and then everything will be harmonized. So I hope it's an answer anyway. I don't something. Hare Krishna.
And everything is in Krishna. And Krishna is everywhere. And Guru Maharaj, as you know, I believe, Guru Maharaj said, if we think that something is not Krishna, that is not within Krishna, that is illusion. So our going to work, as Keshavananda said at the beginning, we only have one life. It is not two lives, my devotional life and the other life. We have to understand that going to work, that also we have to have that view that Krishna is there. Krishna has given me the job. We have one devotee, we have a devotee who was very poor, very struggling family man, and always trying to get a job. In any job that's coming up, they need all these other references or life experience, all these things, even though he was qualified. And then feeling, very difficult, cannot maintain the family without asking others. And then Krishna gave him a job, or we can say he got a job, but Krishna gave him a job. And then after some time, then he's saying, oh, this job is taking all my energy. Yes, I make a lot of money, but it's taking all my energy. Before I could read the books and chant. And so he saw from both sides, you can say. He had nothing, and then he's got remembrance of Krishna. Now he's got so much, and again he's got remembrance of Krishna by the fact of his separation from his sadhana. So however Krishna wants to play with us, we must try to go with that flow. And so many things where we are to harmonize with the environment and see Krishna's affectionate hand everywhere. And it is a big test because in the ashram, it's kind of a little bit obvious. If you're going to wash the pots, it is connected with Krishna. We have the deities, we have the devotees, we keep the ashram clean, etc. But when we're at home, if we don't change our attitude, adjust our attitude so that actually our home is Krishna's home. If we don't do that, then we'll think, oh, we're washing the pots for me. I am cooking for me. I am doing for me, cleaning the house for me. But Guru Maharaj and Gurudev are bringing us to understand that our home, our family, our everything, it's all within Krishna. Krishna's creation, Krishna's managing, Krishna's looking after, and he's looking after me, giving me advice. And now, am I doing what Krishna is expecting of me and changing my attitude to the environment, being conscious of Krishna, Krishna consciousness. So these points about our sadhana, doing our practices, and I know that you do practices and you do steadily, you do chant the holy name. And then this can all gradually, there was a word this morning, I better not say the Sanskrit because I'll get it wrong probably, but there was a word this morning that does come up again and again, that our process is, we are gradually growing into devotees, basically. That we can't expect that we're going to see everything perfectly in a few days, that we're going to mature from a baby devotee to a child devotee, teenage devotee, grown-up devotee, just like we can't expect that's going to happen just by taking a few good meals of rice, dal, sabji, chana, mango, and all these other good things. It's going to take a lot of meals and a lot of cultivation before we become like grown up, mature in the material world, and before we become mature in our healthy conception. And so gradually, then we are developing our devotional life by hearing, chanting, by engaging in service, reading from Gurudev and Guru Maharaj in a devotional way, of honoring the book, honoring the author, and then reading, and day by day by day. And this is going to gradually change our perception, and we may look back and think, what was I thinking, 2 years ago? And what am I thinking now? And we might surprise ourselves that we are thinking a little bit differently than we were then. And soon we are promised that if we do what's expected of us, then the result will come. Hare Krishna. I've got in front of me, right here, by the way, by chance, we've got Srila Guru Maharaj's words, some words which some of them you know. This Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Acharam Bandhanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pungsharpita Vishnu Bhaktis Chain Navalakshana Creator Bhagavatyadha Tanmanye Aditam Uttamam, which is Prahlad Maharaj's verse. He's saying that hearing, speaking about, and remembering Krishna, all these practices, one who cultivates these 9 processes of devotion, offering himself completely to Krishna, can easily attain the ultimate goal of life. I mean, so promising. And then, what are the forms of sadhana? This is now what Srila Maharaj is saying, rather. What are the forms of sadhana? What are the means to attain Krishna Bhakti? How can we revive our innate love for Krishna? We are told to hear about him, to talk about him, to meditate upon him, to praise him, and so on. But in his commentary on this verse, oh dear, poor Sachi. But then Srila Guru Maharaj saying, but in his commentary on this verse, Sridhar Swami, means that great, from several centuries ago, Sridhar Swami has explained that we should not anticipate what benefit we shall derive from our devotional practices, Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing or talking or thinking about Krishna. Rather, we should pray, may whatever service I do go to my Lord. I am not the enjoying party. He is the sole proprietor. Hare Krishna.
His possession.
I'm in his possession.
Yeah.
And yesterday in the Upadeshamritam talk, we were reading how Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, if really I put myself, I am Krishna's, then Krishna's property, I am Krishna's property. Nobody can mess with Krishna's property. And we are also going to be safe and sound in everything. So here, yes, Keshavananda Prabhu looked down a little bit. One condition must be there to ensure that all these different forms of devotional activity are actually bhakti. That is, we are his property. We are not the owners of any wealth or property. We must think, my Lord is the possessor, and I am in his possession. Everything is his property. And actually, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur comes to your help too, Mayeshvari DD, that in the Sharanagati book, those 50 kirtans that he composed about the different departments of Sharanagati, he is taking on that mood of the householder who's given his house and family and everything to Krishna, and then saying, now I am worry-free. I know these are all your property. I will be happy rendering service in your household. And this way, that adjustment, not so much in the activity, but in the consciousness of the activity, like that. And a little bit on, Krishna is the Lord of the land of dedication. We must try to obtain a visa to enter there. Hare Krishna. I was actually glancing through here before, looking for a different phrase, but it hasn't come up. But these phrases came up. After one has been tested and the superiors are satisfied that the souls who have come there are wholly sacrificed. Oh, I see. So we're getting little entrance at this point. Then we can gain their confidence. And when it is seen that one is fully surrendered, there is complete freedom. One may do anything. But this, of course, is in devotion. And then Guru Maharaj was giving that example of Mother Jashoda whipping Krishna. One may even whip Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
But your house, this we must see, your house is Krishna's house. Your everything is Krishna's everything. And remember that Srila Gurudev made a very beautiful expression. He said that if we can actually honor prasadam, he said that by honoring prasadam, we have practically conquered the whole, is what he said.
Wow.
And this means that all of our senses, all of our idea of me, I am cooking for me, I am in the enjoyer, my possessions are the enjoyer, my this, my that. By actually honoring prasadam, then we've practically conquered everything. Because we are what we eat. And if we really can go shopping for Krishna, cook for Krishna, offer to Krishna, accept his remnants from Krishna, then it is no small thing. And this is also stressed to us. So chanting always the Lord's names and knowing that we are temporary in this world, trying to, in a positive way, trying to use our energy always positively. We had a reading, as we do, we read and then ask and tell devotees, we are going to ask devotees to say something after the reading. So yesterday we had a reading, maybe the day before, and we're all trying to, and we said, remember something, what stands out from you from this short reading. So we're maybe 10 in the temple room. And so we're all saying something that stood out to them. And it helps to do things like that. And what I remember stood out to me, and I pointed out, was Guru Maharaj said that Maya is always trying to take our time. And it's not a big statement in one sense, but it's very applicable because always something wants to take our time away from our Krishna consciousness. And so we will do the positive. Whenever we notice that this pull to Maya is there, we'll go to Krishna. And we are confident he can pull stronger than Maya, or at least Maya is his servant, and Maya may be merciful on us. And we're not talking about gross things, but so many things can take our mind away from our remembrance of the holy name, of the service, of the guidance of our masters. Hare Krishna. So your home is no longer yours, Mayeshvari DD. Sorry. Hare Krishna. And we have Sachi Devi here too. And I know Kumkum had a question, but we've got Sachi Devi right here. And are you okay?
Yeah. Okay.
She had a little bit of a coughing challenge just now, but we can ask her to make a contribution. Or I'll put you on here because the microphone is down.
Dhanyavad, dear devotees. I was thinking when Maharaj was speaking about this gradual process of our journey to realize the love for the Lord and the love for his devotees. And actually, when I think back of my time in this process, I must say that every period, every time from the beginning to till now, it is every period, even though there was so much ignorance and so much covering of the material nature in my journey, all the time, and I was not even very I'm not even such a good student, but we are dealing here constitutionally with the Lord of love. So there is no way for nobody actually that he can be without the Lord, without Krishna. So in that process that we are so fortunate that we came across the pure Vaishnava and the devotees and the knowledge about our spiritual life, that to hold on to that in whatever situation we are, it will always uplift us. So beginning and middle, or gradually coming forward in our spiritual life more and more, it is always gives us the best advice, the best solutions for whatever situation we are in. So sometimes the Lord is very playful in every way. We know that already. And sometimes challenges or our karma comes, and always Krishna consciousness gives the best advice, even though that sometimes we are missing the boat, so to say, cannot really be completely so strict, or if we just hold on and we in our mind, we not forgetting Krishna. Maybe sometimes also there are lapses that we that the mind takes over, and we are we are in the environment that in the material always pick up again, because that's also what they say. Krishna is more near to myself than I can be. And why is that? Because he is all the time Krishna conscious. He's all the time there. And I might forget him sometimes, or I get distracted. So just want to say, in every situation where we are, Krishna consciousness is always the best, because it is the best. There's nothing better than Krishna consciousness. It's in every way, it is the highest, it's the best, it's most beautiful, most deep, most high, everything. And we are with that line of consciousness. So don't worry, just keep going. And chanting, no doubt. Chanting that takes a lot of, like the heaviness of ignorance and passion. That chanting is very, very important to go through all stages. And of course, humility, tolerance, give honor to others. If you want all glories, you have it. Give it just away, and don't expect any honor for yourself. Nice process. I mean, like, where do we hear that in the material world? Nowhere. And even in the material world, you need that, because otherwise you make massacre all the time. We see that. Like, so you need also, so just to, so happy to be with you. And we got the best of the best. And, keep going, keep chanting. Be very grateful that this has come to your life. And do the best you can and be sincere. Like maybe we make mistakes, but say, oh my Lord, I make mistakes and please forgive me and don't go away. The worst is when he will leave us. That's the worst. So we have to be careful that never, ever, ever happens. No, a little bit.
Hare Krishna, joy.
I was just thinking that's why we need to hear from the devotees. You can read many things, but when the words are expressed, then expression is a more living thing, some turbocharge to the expression. Jai Sachi Devi, all appreciate. And honesty in Krishna consciousness is the best. Kum Devi Rasi, you had a long life in devotional service. You are very rich. Please share something. You've had a gradual journey for a long time, so you must be a long way to Goloka Vrindavan. What tips do you have?
I pray for the mercy of the Vaishnavas, Maharaj, and especially hearing your words. They must be true, although inconceivable to me. But I just wanted to mention, we have a question actually from our very wonderful Savitri, who everyone is so pleased with. But I was, I had picked out a chapter which I think beautifully answers Mayeshvari DD's question. So it's my currently favorite chapter of all of the books because it's the one we're reading right now. And by Krishna's amazing control, you've answered every single point that I was going to bring out. But I will say the name of the chapter for further reading is in Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, number 1, The Guardian-Led Family. So you can read that at some point. Everyone can. It's so centering. It's astounding. And now we can hear from our Savitri Didi.
Dhanyavad. My question is, I sometimes preach to people like non-devotees and tell them about Krishna consciousness. And one person told me he thinks it makes the philosophy makes sense in Krishna consciousness about reincarnation, karma, and other things. But it's difficult for this person to believe there's a lot, or like to imagine. It's very difficult. What advice can I give?
Well, you could advise him to hear from Paramananda Prabhu. Let's hear what Paramananda Prabhu may say today. If convenient to do so, Paramananda Prabhu.
So I will actually pass it on to, and I was thinking about it for some time. We do have a new generation present right in front of us. And they are wearing saffron cloth. And one of the main engagement of such persons is to take Krishna consciousness to the masses, to approach people and try to convince them, which I did happily when I was that age and wearing the same cloth. So I've been thinking continuously for the last quite, I would say months even. So what would they say in that kind of situation? I'm very curious right now. But I will add something to Mayeshvari DD question later. And I'm speaking about Ram Sundar and Lila Moy. Das Prabhu's Brahmacharis.
Danda pranams. Our internet is a bit tricky. I don't know if you can listen here or not. But, yes, perfectly.
Yeah.
Madhurananda
Yes,
Prabhu.
everything is good. The internet
Okay.
is not going to change your words. So please keep.
So there's a common point that we can give emphasis every time that we talk with the public. That is this aspect of happiness and love, affection that everyone is looking for. And if we keep attention on those points, I think you're going to catch at least some part of the person because actually every one of us, we are needy. We're in need for this kind of hole that we have in our heart, and it needs to be fulfilled with something that we are giving to this person or try to give. Of course, many of the mystical, like we can say, like the mystical things, like all this thing from the could be attractive for someone, but usually these philosophical aspects that based on love and affection can capture everyone and sincerely try to always giving emphasis this that we should give something that attract us for the persons that we are talking with. This is a very, very important point because we cannot say something that we are not familiar with and trying to go deep into the philosophy, go deep into the, the deep corners of the Siddhanta, like the fine points and everything. We can get lost and trying to spread in the wrong way the perfect message of our masters. But we can go sincerely and trying to understand our level with our sincerity and always be sincere. This is a really good point. And trying to really show them the what attract you first and what makes you in this position to sharing something for this with this person and more or less in those lines we have to see case by case, but and I think Ram Sundar Prabhu can share many beautiful things also.
Dandavat. Our volume was a little low, so if I could hear the question one more time, that would be very helpful for me.
So the question was like if I approach two people, and in one case it was that the person liked the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, but it's for this person is it difficult to believe in Krishna, in the Lord. And what can I advise for this person?
Well, this is kind of reminding me what we are reading this morning, that Srila Gurudev is talking about Sukriti and Nitya Sukriti. And really, we can't convince anyone. They have to have some sort of a level of Sukriti, but we can always guide them in the right direction. But more or less, the thing I always come back to is that if you take a step back and you look at life and what's inevitable for your life, the only prospect is that, you will die. And you have some hankering that is unfulfilled, and you are definitely searching after something. And the whole traumatizing thing with death is that it's so unnatural. So there must be some solution to death. And you have an innate desire for happiness. No one can deny that. And so you must seek where you're going to find that. And my favorite, it's a sloka. It's from one of the Puranas, but it's on the back of the Search for Sri Krishna. It's saying that you are a son of nectar. You're born to taste nectar, so you must search out for that nectar. So that'd be my guidance, I guess you could say. My steering point is that you're born to taste nectar, but you're never gonna find it in something that is destined to vanish. So there must be something that is eternal, and you have to seek after that. And also, this reminds me of my, speaking with my mother a bit about these things. The idea of infinity to her is actually a horrifying thing for her because she can only conceive of her present situation and thinking that that will play out for eternity. That is a horrifying thing to think that, routine life that you're definitely sick of and you're hankering for something else. So I like to think that, or I like to say to her that you shouldn't, put God in a box who you think God is, You stare at a mountain because she loves mountains. So she's very captivated by mountains. This is something God himself doesn't even, he has a list of expansions that go down the line that created this mountain, and how inconceivably beautiful is just this one mountain. So what to speak of the Emporium of all rasas, Krishna himself. So don't put God in a box. That's more or less what I think about in this circumstance.
Thank you.
Keshavananda Prabhu definitely like that one. I think he's going to be quoting it in the class here. Don't put God in a box. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Well, now we can see that the future is in a very good hands.
Yeah.
Jai.
Jai.
That was made very clear by both Lilamo and Ramsundar. Anyway, it's
and now
already...
Paramananda Prabhu is going to give some further expression, and I think Mayeshvari.
Not much, Maharaj. We're over time already. But just back to Mayeshwari DD's question. And I believe the question was, everybody expressed so wonderfully, and it's such a wide thing to discuss. But she was basically saying, and do correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm paraphrasing right now, you said that being a devotee doesn't cancel being a responsible person. Something along those lines. That's what you pretty much asked. And really, that's a very good question. And it's a very, very common question. And being a responsible person have many different implications, basically. So many different ways you can be a responsible person. And we always think about just our regular life, how to maintain ourselves. That first thing that comes to mind, the basic stuff, how to be able to support yourself without being a burden for other people. And I just want to make it very clear. Krishna consciousness is not something that requires you joining temple. It's actually quite the opposite. But there are people who are meant to be in the temples, and there are so many other people who are not meant to be in the temples, but it doesn't cancel them as devotees. And we had a very good friend, our good friend, who would always say, and it was just mentioned by Maharaj, it's not what we do, it's how we do it. It's the mood that matters in everything we do, in our daily life, and whatever we think, anything. It's all about the mood. You can be in the temple, but being somewhere else, really far away from anything spiritual. And you can be somewhere in so-called mundane life, there in the world, as we say sometimes, and being fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. In fact, it's actually more, what's the word? Conducive, is that the word? For someone to be sometime in kind of a dire situation that actually helps to remember about Krishna. And then Srila Govinda Maharaj pointed so many times how much he wanted his devotees to be successful people in the world. Because successful people can do so much by being the devotees in the same time. And at the same time being such a good example for others that we don't need to speak so much about philosophy. The people can just say, oh, he's a devotee, he's so successful, that's good enough for me. Sign me up. Really, quite often this is the case. Or at least they will hear it from you. So we're not meant to be the beggars. We're not meant to be living under the trees. Not everyone have to join the temple. Just be Krishna conscious wherever you are. And it's so beautifully presented by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he's giving that instructions to Raghunath Das Goswami, who is very eager. And there are instances, there are personalities who would do that, no doubt about it, but he's very eager to join Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu says, no, you stay here for some time, you help your father's business, you act as a normal man, be responsible, that's what he said. Be responsible in everything you do. But in your heart, remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. And then one day he will deliver you from Maya, from the circumstances. I think that's a good thing to remember. So my advice, everyone should become very successful in the world, and everyone should become a pure devotee of Krishna in the same time.
Okay, beginning now. So, dear devotees, we've been hearing from the hearts of the devotees some very practical things for our devotional life. And really, it's practical things for our devotional life. And the basis of it comes down to adjusting to whatever environment Krishna has put us in at the present time. And always this theme of not to make any complaint against the environment, which, as we were reminded recently, means everything outside of me, outside of us, is our environment. So we must adjust to that environment. And for many, that environment is the household life. It is with responsibilities to others. It is responsibilities in this world. And we've all read Bhagavad Gita. We all hopefully still read Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita, what is Krishna telling us? Is giving us this as the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And we need to try to make that actually applicable wherever we are in the world. Means, well, physically, yes, wherever we are, but wherever we are in our situation in the world, whether it's financial or age or anything, then we need to see, where am I? Where has Krishna put me? How can I see that he's helping me to be Krishna conscious by putting me in this position? So when we are in the household life, we've got responsibilities. And then nicely do those responsibilities with Krishna in the center. Chant Hare Krishna, avoid the 10 offenses. Serve the devotees, serve Krishna with your prasadam, with the things you will take as prasadam, not to cook for oneself. These things, they may be basics, but they are the very substance our foundation. And of course, we are going through the substance, the foundation of our life, our behavior, just to be a reasonable human being, to make a favorable ground for our devotion to grow. And then step by step, we want to keep on going and be very appreciative of the opportunity that we have, the connection that we have with our masters, and actually the ideal in each circumstance. That has been chalked out by Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj. And so we have this really fully harmonious dealings of this material world shown to us by those who are absolutely not of this material world, but who are guiding us from matter to consciousness. And our body is only matter. They are taking us to the fully conscious world. And that is headed by a person, the personality of Krishna. God is not invented by a big bang. And don't put Krishna in a box, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Probably-
a word from, yes, an eager word I can see from Keshavananda.
I think you can have fun with it, Savitri, really, because what people believe is lunacy, bonkers, actually. So, you know what? Actually, reality is a blue boy who's got a flute. You know? It's even on a mundane level, it's no more ludicrous than what they're proposing. And it's beautiful. And devotees are so funny. One time, we've been reading Srimad Bhagavatam, it was in Italy, and one time a devotee said, oh, they had a question, and the question was, oh yeah, there's something in the Vedas that I'm finding it difficult to understand. And I was being cheeky, really. I said, oh yeah. Is it where that little pig comes out of Lord Brahma's nose and gets bigger and bigger and bigger? And the funny thing was, she was going, no, it's not that. Got no problem with that. And then we never actually got to the issue because it all just melted away. So, as Leela Moy was saying, Savitri, you be enthusiastic about the things that make you feel enthusiastic, the things about Krishna consciousness that get you excited, and those things you can talk about happily because it's a real experience for you, based in love and affection, and everything is chamatkar. Jai Gurudev. And that blue boy
With a flute.
With a flute and a beautiful garland of forest flowers.
All right. Anyway, Jai to you all. As Paramananda pointed out half an hour ago, we're over time. Well, 10 minutes ago, we're over time. So we'll continue. You continue. Some of you are at work, we know, but not all of you. So, dear devotees, let us conclude with the Jais indeed to Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Rock Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj Ki Jai, and to Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, to Bhagavan, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai, our Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai. They have opened our eyes by their grace to see this path. At least we can see the path, which way to go. Whether we are good students or not to follow that's our matter, but they have opened our eyes. So to all of our grand masters, our races, our Jais, and to all the ever important Vaishnavas, to all the assembled devotees, Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, to the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Ho. And to Kumkum Devi Dasi Ki Jai, all our senior devotees, Sachi Devi Ki Jai, Paramananda Prabhu Ki Jai, all of our devotees everywhere, Brindavana Sri Devi Dasi at home, look, you drove home. Oh, you're in the car. I'm not sure quite where you are. And to our brahmacharis in Govinda Farm.
Yeah.
Govinda Farm Ashram at the moment. Jai to our brahmacharis. And we'll have another brahmachari here who is in Australia. Jai Gauranga Prabhu. And to all of you, Naza, I was hearing your glories today from devotees elsewhere. They were saying, what a gentleman he is and so capable. So Naza, all devotees, we're picking up one or two as we go down and through. And to each of you, Rukmini Devidas is in her car. She's turned on her camera.
Oh, that is her.
Yeah, there's Rukmini. You've made Sachi Devi very happy. Yeah, she's waving to you. All right, so Nitai, and to all of you, one by one, Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo, Vancha Kalpatrucha, Kripa Sindhu Evacha, Atitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnave Namo Namaha. Jai. Jai Keshavananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Another example why we should hear all about these things from devotees, not only read. Hare Krishna. Amra Ashchi. We are coming. Hare Krishna.